Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is CKT Chaotic. Today I will be re-recording the Remarried Empress episode 191. I am so sorry you guys for people who already have watched and could not hear me. I fixed up my desktop, I rearranged everything, set up my new stuff, and I messed with the mic without realizing it, so I ended up minimizing the voice capture, and hopefully I fixed it. I will listen to this before publishing it out, but I'm so sorry you guys. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna record this early and I'm gonna post it immediately. Like, I was so proud. Did not realize the mic was wonky. All right guys, let's go ahead and get started. And just to let you guys know, the previous episode, the previous record, I said that this is a really sad read. A week later, Sovieshu heard about Rashta's death. The former Empress Rashta has passed. The West Tower. Ugh. Stop. That's kind of crazy that, a week later he found out and her body just been in that cell rotting this whole time. I didn't think she'll take her own life, even if she eventually lost her mind from solitary confinement.
Why don't you ever tell me you love me, Your Majesty?
She will be remembered as the most wicked empress in the history of the Eastern Empire. That's how it ended up. But was she like that from the beginning? Was I bewitched by her angelic beauty into thinking that she was innocent? Or was she just an ordinary person, and the palace, power, nobles, and I corrupted her? No one can answer that. She's not to be buried as an empress. Have her body cremated and scatter her ashes in a large field. So, previously, I was kind of talking about this before I pre-recorded this, was I think that it's kind of symbolic. Her whole life, she has always been, she born a slave, raised as a slave, and been tormented so much that, the only reason she kind of gravitated to Sovieshu was because he was able to give her hope and freedom. And it sucks, yeah, she did, it's kind of like a disgrace to not be buried as an empress, pretty much like, hey, you're not worthy to be buried as an empress. But instead, he kind of like respectfully, cremated her body and set her free. So in the afterlife, she's free. She's not locked up and trapped as, whatever it is in the afterlife. But, in a way, he kind of gave her some grace there, Ooh. Your Majesty. What is it? Empress Navier. Dum.
What happened to Empress Navier?
The good news is that she survived, but she's currently in a coma.
Then I must...
His Majesty ordered me to help with your departure as soon as he received the news.
I'll come to Your Majesty once I learn for the court mage and become a much more useful person. And should you ever need my help before then, I'll rush to your side at once. Your Majesty. I'll be right there.
The Remarried Empress, episode 191. Navier. Here. I can't do the noise, the door noise today. My baby is not napping right now. What is he doing? He's playing around in his crib.
See this, Your Majesty? This is my room. Smells like power.
What does that even mean? Yes, Navier said the oddest things sometimes. She always kept a straight face, so I could never tell if she was joking. That was part of her charm. And over there was a desk that I gifted to Navier. I hand-picked the wood from the Northern Kingdom, and it took a year to make. She was a pretty good wife. Even if she wasn't as warm as the herons in storybooks. How do you say that word? Hold on. Heroines in storybooks. Oh, my child. Shoo. I forgot all the good times we shared. And abandoned my wife, my dear wife, my childhood friend. And for what? Navier, my wife. Whatever plans I had, I should have been honest and discussed them with Navier. No. I should never have brought Rashta into the palace. I shouldn't have made her my mistress. I shouldn't have compared the two of them. Ugh.
Is sympathy the only thing you feel for Rashta?
I shouldn't have asked her for a divorce.
He is the one I wish to remarry.
I should have regretted it. Sought her for forgiveness and tried to win her back. Navier, I regret letting you go to the other empire. I shouldn't have made you leave. Please, please be alive, Navier. Navier.
Not long after Rashta's death was announced, Viscount Loteshu and the Ishkas were executed. So they say Viscount Loteshu, but his son wasn't on the list or on the chopping block. Hurrah! Everyone was thrilled that those who deceived the nation had been punished. Everyone except for a few people. Viscountess Verdi fled with Glorym.
So she accepted Duke Urgi's offer. I'm not sure why he made the offer, but this is good. Have someone tell her, and when she's about to meet Duke Urgi's contact, have them pose as that person and take Glorym to the Southern Empire. If they bring her to Count Eliardo at the border, he'll adopt her as his daughter. Understood, Your Majesty. Glorym brings back too many painful memories. I can't keep her with me, but I've done everything I could. Rather than living as a slave like her mother and being marked as the daughter of a felon, I want her to live comfortably as a nobleman's daughter. That will help me let go of my attachment. Your Majesty, Duke Urgi is here to see you. Huh? I came to say goodbye. I'm still surprised by it. He has some nerve. He has some balls, okay? But honestly, will he make it out of this place alive now that he's there? You know, he was a part of a lot of the scandals. You know, he was the one who... he was the puppet master and got Rashta to do all these horrible things. If only Sovieshu kind of caught on to that. Like, hey, all these ideas wouldn't have happened, or, you know, if this guy and Loteshu, Viscount Loteshu, was not there to play with Rasha's brain. And like Rasha is very short, very short-sighted. Like, you know, she's not educated. She doesn't know what she's doing. Plus, she's very young as well. And, you know, she's a tormented soul. So if only Sovieshu knew that, he would understand Rasha a little better. He, in the end, like, you know, he set up Rashta for failure, you know. Obviously now we understand his mindset, his point of view. He never really loved Rashta. He felt sorry for her and he wanted to protect her, you know. And she brought like this kind of innocence that he just never been around before and he just loved that. But of course, with being in the palace, I like when he asked like was Rashta had always been this evil, or was it the palace and the people corrupted her? To me, I think I do believe that the people in the palace, like people with power, really did corrupt her. She came in here into the empire wanting to be friends and to live like a good life, and she wanted to be sisters with like Navier and be like friends, right? Because before she came into the palace, she was a slave, and she have seen portraits of Navier from Lotatia's daughter, I forgot her name, and was like, wow, like this person is beautiful. She's like, you know, and she's an empress. You know, she had always admired Navier, and you know, the fact that she was able to meet the empress in person, she was like, oh my god, I want to be you, but I also I envy you so much. Like you're my idol, and you're here. You know, like let's be sisters. And Navier was like, no, you know. Of course, I wouldn't blame Navier for that because I would be offended too. Like my husband cheated on me with this girl who's a slave, and you know, if they were to have met differently, I think they would have been friends. But being brought on as a mistress is very distasteful. So they should really set her up, Rasha, for failure, you know. And she was very innocent. And of course, being rejected by Navier created this obsession to be her, to replace her, to get rid of her, to shame her, you know. So Rashta is very short-sighted in the very end. Like, you know, she was innocent, but then her jealousy got to her and she wanted more power and more power, and she trying to get rid of people, and she actually got rid of people. And Sovieshu caught on, and you know, Duke Urgi, Loteshu played her, you know, like a puppet. And of course, Duke Urgi was able to cover his tracks, but Loteshu was not. He got very sloppy and greedy. Money was what drove or driven him. So that became his downfall, and it sucks. You know, in the end, it's nice that Sovieshu thought about Glorym because he did help this baby, even if this baby wasn't his. I kind of did wish, like, you know, he just ended up adopting her, but I get it. She's gonna always be marked as the felon's daughter, like the unwanted, the wicked empress, the wicked witch empress daughter. So it would have been great for Sovieshu to hold on to this child, but yeah, I get it. But now I feel bad for Ian. Like, where is he? And I noticed that Alan wasn't on the chopping block, but they just say, oh, Viscount Loteshu. So maybe Sovieshu gave him a pardon, like, you know, and allowed him to live in the countryside or something within. I don't know. I just feel so bad for that child. Like, Ian didn't deserve that. But at least Glorym is going to be adopted into a good family and be raised as a nobleman's daughter, you know? But oh my gosh. But it's also scary, okay? Being a woman, for me, I'm ranting. To be a girl being raised by a random man. Like, I really hope Sovieshu knows this man and trusts this man because it's scary. It's scary. I'm sorry. SA is the real thing. And I hope this girl is raised, like, you know, in a good family and not be traumatized like how Rashta was traumatized. Rashta was a very broken human. Like, born, raised, and to the very end, she was just broken and not very wise. Anyways, thank you so much, you guys, for listening to my read. I'm so sorry about the recording for this episode. I had to re-record it, react to it, and discuss it. But if you guys enjoy the way I read and reacted to this webtoon, feel free to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, drop some comments, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye! Oh my goodness.